So everyone knows what's going on with Derrick Jaxn. Everybody knows by now. We covered it, the other day, that Derrick Jaxn was, exposed to be cheating, to the public at least. Well, Derrick Jaxn had went online and he presented his wife in the video. Now we know Derrick Jaxn's side of it already. Most of you heard it. I heard it, but we want to focus more on this video on his wife and what she has to say in, relation to everything that's been going on. It's been blowing up all over social media, and even places like the Breakfast Club was talking about this. Let's go ahead and roll that clip.
Can I say anything?
Yes, so I do want to just add that I agree with what he just said. There is no justification for bringing other women into our marriage on any level. And it was unacceptable. And it's not something that I tolerate or that we tolerate moving forward. And when I've been flooded again with messages and these things and about, I need to leave or why haven't I left? And the answer is, when I found out about it, I left. I did not hesitate or waste time to do so. And I stayed gone. No matter how many times he came, I stayed gone and stood firm on, I am not coming back. And I did not come back until I seen a shift and a change in his mentality, in how he carried himself, in how he presented himself, and conversations that we were able to have that we had never been able to have in just 12 years of knowing each other. And when we were able to have these dialogues, said, okay, Lord, this is something that you've had your hand on. And this was with me being completely removed from his life. And him pursuing God, continuing to pursue God, and continuing to eliminate these things that led up to the catastrophe that you guys are seeing for the first time. So there's nothing out there right now that is information that I don't already know about or haven't known about. And so this is not something that is new. We have moved forward from it. We have gotten counsel for it and continue to do so. He is still continuing to pursue God and continuing to seek guidance and wise counsel from men of God. And that is what I needed for the continuation of me being present in this marriage and to stand by his side. So today, where I'm at is at peace, and I proudly stand by his side, and I have no hesitation, I have no hurt, no shame about that. And it's only because of the grace of God and the mercy of God. And we have already turned a new chapter in this story. We are continuing to move forward, and we are just now sharing that with you all. And I forgave him, and most importantly, God has first forgiven him, and I also forgive the others as well. And with that, we are free and moving forward. So absolutely, that's all I have.
Yeah.
So you heard what Derrick Jaxn's wife had to say about the whole situation. She said that she knew about, his cheating already. They was working through it. She said that basically she forgave him, and she's going to stick with Derrick Jaxn. Now, some people may say, some women may say, oh, she's silly. She shouldn't stay with him. She need to move on. She needs to leave. Well, let me tell you why some women in her position probably wouldn't leave. There's women that would say, okay, he cheated with a woman. And these days, you need to be glad he cheated with a woman, right? We talking about a woman with a uterus and get a monthly cycle, okay? So be glad of that. A lot of women would say. Then you have to look at Derrick Jaxn's, success and all of that come with that. And then a lot of women would say, well, would I get the child support and get some spousal support and leave, or stay with him? Then women would say, ain't no way I'm going to leave and let that hoe win, and say, I'm the wife, she's not. I'll fix this. I'll work through this. But ain't no way I'm gonna let some little hoe that from the internet come mess up all this stuff that I got going on. We'll fix this situation. And in my opinion, I believe that's was her route, was she's not going to walk away from Derrick Jaxn. Whatever issues they have, that's them, but she's not going to do that. Now, people will say, well, you know, once a cheat, always a cheat. Not necessarily, because there are people that do cheat and then they learn the error of their ways and they don't do it again. Okay. Now, Derrick Jaxn did say they were separated at the time. His wife explained that she was in Colorado. They wasn't, you know, in their marriage as they are now. And that's when all that stuff started happening. Okay. But I still go back to what I said. Either you be all in or all out. None, because to me, separation is half in, half out. Okay. Now, it is her decision and his decision to stay together or not. They have children. Now, my honest opinion, I prefer them to stay together. The reason why I prefer them to stay together is because they have children. And Derrick Jaxn, I hope you learn from the error of your ways. You're not like some guy that just has a good paying job. You are considered a public figure. And how do you think that you being a public figure, that wasn't going to come out? I just don't understand that by people that's public figures. When you're trying to do your little creeping and everything, and especially when you are in the space of trying to tell people about relationships and who shouldn't be cheating. And now Derrick Jaxn had to apologize recently to Pastor John Gray because Derrick Jaxn went in on him when he was cheating on his wife multiple times, actually. And he had to basically eat crow and apologize to Pastor John Gray. OK, so it is not an easy walk to be on, you know, a platform or a microphone, because at the end of the day, people are human. People got issues they got going on. Some people set up, you know, a particular persona, but outside of that, that's not who they are. It's all kind of things. Some people, what you see on camera is really what you're going to see in public when you meet them. It's usually the same thing with a lot of people, but a lot of people it's not. I don't condemn her. I don't say she's silly, she's stupid or whatever, because me as a married man and understand it, when you're breaking up a family like that, it's hard on the kids. Because see, you could, you know, get somebody else as an adult. You can do that. But when the children, you know, okay, Derrick Jaxn's children, no matter what, is his children, and that's their mother. Now, I would want to be in Derrick Jaxn's position, because now anywhere Derrick Jaxn go, she gonna be making sure where he at. If Derrick Jaxn has to travel, he gonna be second guessed. She may want to go more, but just because she really don't, you know, he messed up the trust. OK, so if she want to tag along everywhere, if she want to call him, if she want to check his phone every 5 minutes, if she want to check his emails, if she want to check his Instagram, he can't say nothing. He can't say a word about trust, because he messed that part up. Because even if really technically what separation is, when you have problems, you're supposed to be not fooling with nobody else. But that's really not how it goes. People feel separation means I'm single, even though on paper you're married. So if that's what, you know, her choice and that's their choice and they're working through it, hey, that's the end of it with me. I'm just saying to Derrick Jaxn, now you can't get mad at her for nothing she says or does at this point. You know, you gonna have to buy her whatever she want. You know, you remember Kobe Bryant, you know, and may he rest in peace. You know, he got caught up in his situation, and he bought Vanessa that big old ring, and Vanessa was standing right there with the kids. The moment he came off the court, he was right there. Vanessa was there. I mean, that woman stayed at the games. Kobe didn't have not a lick of privacy time to himself, but at the time, Kobe put himself in that situation. But with time, you know, Vanessa got her trust back in him again. So Derrick Jaxn going to have to go through some of that. And I hope he don't mess that up, because she really actually saving his career, because if she want to, she could have blew up his whole career. She could took everything from him. So he should be more thankful that she's willing to stick with him, even though all of this, you know. Now, what based to me, how she comes across, she seems like a good person, you know, and everything. So he should appreciate that, because these little, you know, whores out here on Instagram, most of them not good people. They just trying to hit a lick on you. That's it. You know, and it's just So I hope Derrick Jaxn count, his blessings that he have at his house, and appreciate that he has a family and kids. There's a lot of people on this internet that wish they had a spouse and some, children to have a family, but we don't want any spouses that, step out though. I mean, we cannot cheat in our relationships. But, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the situation with Derrick Jaxn's wife, forgiving him, willing to stay with him. Once again, I had a feeling that she would, because, women in her situation is not going to let some Instagram girl come in between everything that, she has with a man like, him in the area of his success.